Welcome to round 3 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of January 18th. I'm Nicole Erdix, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
And Catherine Haleko.
Hello.
We're moms of teens and young adults, and when it comes to parenting, we've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. But we're still waiting for that day when we'll reach the finish line and have no further need to lay down in a dark room with a wet rag over our eyes worrying about something or other. Wednesday is complaint day here on Parenting Roundabout, and today we assert that it's not fair that the world is made for morning people. Completely. Yes.
Aww.
This idea sort of came out of part of this idea, it came from a book that I've been reading on sleep and how, we have these natural cycles of sleep, and then we have natural cycles of energy in the day, obviously, right? And, and so then that relates to, are you a morning person? You like to get up in the morning, or are you an evening person where you're most productive in the evening? So this whole concept of, taking it a step further and, like when I was raising my kids, in terms of being a mother, I was not the one to get up at 5 with my kids and get them out to preschool that started at 8:30. I was like the afternoon preschool mom. I try to schedule everything after, 1 p.m. I was not, I was not the person that could do the morning stuff, that would get up and go for a walk around the block, or would, walk my kid to school, or it's just not me. And I don't know, how about you guys? Are you a morning mom or a night mom? Like, I found that most of the stuff that I was, most energetic about happened in the evening. So what about you guys?
Yeah, I think that, I definitely in general am not a morning person. I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, I just wake up at 6, I don't set an alarm.
My daughter is that person.
Nope, can't do it. But, the thing is that you don't really have a choice a lot of the time. Maybe you can sign them up for for preschool that starts at 1, but kindergarten and first grade are not going to start at 1 o'clock. So, yeah.
But it helps you ease into it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would prefer to do more important things or, necessary things or whatever in the afternoon or evening. But the problem is that I don't always get that option.
Right.
Especially when my daughter was going to skating competitions. Man.
Oh, yeah.
We would always seem to have to get up at like 4 a.m. Just to get up and do the hair and makeup and eat and warm up and all the things you had to do before they actually competed. That was rough. Because it's hard to sleep the night before.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, especially if you're out of town, you're staying in a hotel, all their friends are there. Like, I don't think any competition should start at, they'd sometimes have their first event is at, 7 or 8 a.m.
That's ridiculous.
So that seems silly.
Backtrack, a couple hours before that for everything. So yeah. Sometimes there's.
So, do you think there are more morning people like that are like? Do you think there's more people than not that are more morning oriented? Like, are we just not part of that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I remember talked a while ago about the whole campaign to start school later, because teens, are just wired to sleep later.
Yeah.
So, but it seems like, the working world or just the rest of society is set up for morning people.
It is.
Yeah.
And whether or not if that's because there are more of them or just because that's the habit that our agrarian society started, I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Like, it's hard to know, right? Because my son, he and his girlfriend, because they're in Nevada, and it's hot in the day, right? And so, and they're not overly morning people, and well, I mean, they have to get up for work and school, but it's not their preference. But they've been looking for something to do in the evenings because it's too hot in the day to do anything. And then at nighttime, they're just, you're sitting around, not doing much. So they've been looking for things to do in the evening. So they've started playing tennis. And I know a lot of the tennis courts have the lights on in the evening around here, but there just needs to be more, I think. I mean, and there is, I guess, like there are certain things that do run in the evening, but I don't know. I think there just needs to be more options. What about you, Terry?
I've been trying to think. I mean, I think I can be effective and also not effective at any time of day. I think I'm maybe a morning person, but it's like 2:00 in the morning. I fall asleep on the couch at like 10 o'clock, and then I wake up at 2 a.m. and then I can have a super productive like 5 or 6 hours of work. Or if I power through it, I can stay up really, really late. If I resist the alluring voice of the couch saying, just close your eyes for a minute, it'll be fine. If I resist that, I can work well into the morning, the wee hours, very, very effectively. And it always used to be that way. When I was younger and had more energy, when I was like in college, I would, start writing my papers that were due the next day. Actually, I would start writing them on the day of after Johnny Carson went off. That's when I would start. And I would work all through the morning. So I think I'm like a middle of the night person. Let's schedule preschool then.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if there's a mismatch between your child and you, like your daughter Terry, who is an early to bed person,
she really is. Even now, even at her age,
you have to spend the time you're going to spend with her earlier in the day.
Really, yeah. And she just like after dinner, we just won't see her, and all of a sudden we'll realize she put herself to bed. I mean, well, she's 30 now, so she's certainly able to put herself to bed. But my son can stay up late; he could be a night owl. But she just her body clock, and she knows it, and she does it, and good for her. And it will, I think, be a good thing for her when she. Speaking of firsts, when she finally, has a romance and has a family and has kids and has to get up with them, she will do great. She can get up for everybody else's kids too. She's a carpool lady.
Yes. See, there is a place in life for early
people will love her.
It'll be the neighborhood carpool, Mom.
But I'm not sure. I mean, I would always say I'm not a morning person, but there are times when, if I can get myself up early, I can be extremely productive then. So it's just a matter of resisting my urge to sleep at pretty much any given time. It's not limited to mornings. It's afternoons.
It is a good feeling. I mean, I don't know if it's just like a societal thing that, we're made to believe that morning people are more productive. I definitely feel more productive and virtuous when I get up early. But is that because I really did more, or because I'm just, falling into the accepted, if you want to get stuff done, you got to get up early.
Yeah, that's it. I feel like when I get up early and get stuff done, it's not because I want to. It's because it's like, okay, well, this is what's expected of me, and I'm doing it, so yay me.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's also, the factor of your family, because I know one of the reasons I get a lot of work done if I wake up like in the middle of the night and do some work is because nobody else is up, and it's completely quiet, and I have no responsibilities to anybody else, and I can just be in my little cone of work. And that, it may be for some families, if everybody sleeps late, if you get up early, you can get a lot done. Or if everybody goes to bed early and you stay up late, you can get a lot done. It depends. Now, in our house, it's mixed, so the only time. The only good time is, 1 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Yeah, I definitely find myself staying up late. Or I used to, maybe not so much anymore, but I definitely used to, because that was the time when other people were sleeping.
Yeah.
But now, my kids are teenagers.
Right.
And they stay up way after me most of the time.
So it's so nice, though, isn't it? If you're awake and everybody else is asleep, and you know everybody is home and safe and where they're supposed to be, and you can have this, private time if you can keep your eyes open.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
It's delicious, but you do have to wake up and stay awake to enjoy it.
I definitely like my evenings. I don't.
Should we be recording our podcasts in the evenings? Is this the problem?
Or should be recording them at 2 a.m.?
Y'all, I'll call you at 2 a.m. when I wake up on the couch and we can have a good discussion.
Yeah, that's when I feel like I'll be like a little more chatty and because I'm tired right now.
We are not getting Nicole at her prime.
No. See, now wouldn't that be cool if we could just like do things at our optimal time, our most productive time?
Yes.
Like
we could each individually record our part of the podcast and just kind of try to imagine what the other ones are going to say.
That'll work great.
Time shift is what we need.
But I have to say, before we wrap up the podcast, not being a morning person does have its perks, obviously, and is, definitely preferable. But how I came to realize I was a morning person was actually through a pretty significant event. And I'm pretty sure it saved our lives. So, because we did not get up early in the morning. So that's when I started to embrace the fact that, you know what, it's okay that we are not morning people, because I don't know if you recall, how many years ago was it? It was like 15 years ago, 15? Yeah. There was a tsunami in Southeast Asia, in Thailand. We were supposed to be there at that one of the locations where it got hit the hardest. Our family was supposed to be there for Christmas. And number one, it didn't work out for other reasons. But number two, if it had worked out, if things had worked out and we were there, I often say to myself, like, would we have been on the beach, right? Like at that time. Mm-hmm. Like, would we have been out there wandering the beach?
Yeah.
But it happened early in the morning at like 8:30 a.m. And when my husband and I ponder that and question that and say to ourselves, would we have been on the beach at that time? We both look at each other and go, nah, we would have been in bed. So, yeah, it's one of those like, you're right. Yeah, we would not have been out there at 8:30 and we're okay with that. Because sadly, a lot of people were out there taking their early morning walk and being on the beach. And when the tsunami hit. So not to make light of that situation, but
no,
that was one.
And you're sleeping when the earthquakes come now too, right?
That's right.
By the time you get out of bed, it's already over. Yeah,
it's done. So exactly. So embrace who you are.
Well, anyway. On that cheerful note, we will say that's it for round 3. Tune in tomorrow when we'll obsess about kitchen gadgets, and then on Friday to see what we've come up with for our Roundabout Roundup picks this week. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.